Hey, I'm Kev, yeah, Mr. Khan. Can you feel the nostalgia on your face as we are looking at Profit Gotham Racing 4, which in a couple of weeks' time will turn 7 years old, and it was done by Bizarre Creations, who were created 20 years ago this year. So it's a bit of a good time to talk about Project Gotham Racing 4 as we start our Gotham career. There's no Batman around here. I was going to go choose a normal difficulty, and I've been meaning to show this game on the channel for a few months since I got it again, but it's been a bit of a busy schedule, especially with Road to Glory. But now that is finally over, I've got a bit of a space here to show you some other racing games that I like, starting off with one of my favourite games of all time, not just in the racing game genre, but of all time, Project Gotham Racing 4, as we start our career mode once again in the Asia Amateur Open on a motorcycle. So we're going to talk about how fantastic this game is, going to talk about how fantastic Bizarre Creations were, and talk about how perhaps we're missing a game like this on the market nowadays. So we're on the grid for our first race in this Gotham career, as we are 4th out of 4 riders and drivers. We're going to go around this very almost oval-like shape for a few laps, and you're going to enjoy some great passing on this motorbike against the old cars. As you can see, one of them got a very strange getaway there, getting some wheel spin as you're up to third immediately. But this is what I liked about Project Gotham Racing 4, which immediately sucked to me in, as this is going to be story time now. So sit next to your log fire that I've provided you in your living room. Don't worry, I gave you a fire extinguisher as well. About 6 years ago, it was about the first time I played this game. This makes me feel old now that I'm talking about my gap year before I went to university. So yeah, you're getting the, if you haven't guessed my age, you can probably figure it out by now. But in that gap year, I was just bumming it about. You know, I did have a friend who went to university. He owned an Xbox 360. I only got an Xbox 360 a couple of years ago. I had a PS2 before that and a PS1 before then. And so he let me look after his Xbox while I was at uni, you know, concentrating, studying. And so I looked after his Xbox for over the summer and for the year, I think. Oh no, it's for the summer, sorry. It was the summer I was looking after his Xbox while he was away, you know, working somewhere else in the country. So I looked after it over that summer, and he had Assassin's Creed with it, and Assassin's Creed, that was the first one, and it was quite enjoyable until it got incredibly repetitive, and then it pissed me off by glitching near the end, so I never actually completed that game. That really did piss me off. And yeah, Project Gotham Racing 4. There were probably some other games, I don't remember them, but I remember these two. And Project Gotham Racing 4, which was probably the game I played the most, and I just knew it was a racing game. And of course, if you've been on this channel, I kind of like the racing games. But this game, I didn't know what to expect when I first played it. And then I played it, and it was just good arcade fun. And it was I'd say circuit racing, you know, street racing mostly. Arcade fun, as we can go on motorbikes against cars, the only Project Gotham game you can do this in. And so, you know, I really did enjoy this aspect of it, being a bike, you know, racing cars. You can taunt them as you go past the AI as well, and you can really show that sometimes 2 wheels is better than 4 wheels as well, as we're showing here. Look at this bike 1-2 ahead of the cars. And so yeah, I really did enjoy this aspect of it, which you don't really see in any other game, I think. And even since, I don't think I can really think of a game where you can be a bike against a car on the track. I imagine it was awful online, but I never really played online. I only really played the arcade mode and this Gotham career mode as well. And so, you know, I really enjoyed racing AI, you know, and the good challenges as well, good variety there. It's just a really good game where you have to earn kudos. It's not about winning necessarily. It's all about getting that kudos, even though winning does give you quite a big bump over second place though in the kudos. So that's a really good aspect of it, even though I do outbreak myself there. Lose some kudos and we get overtaken. Poor mistake from us. But yeah, that's what I really liked about this game, where it wasn't necessarily about the winning. It's just the taking part, just having fun just drifting round corners, having clean laps, doing some nice overtaking. You know, it wasn't necessarily about just the winning. And so, yeah, I really did enjoy kind of the relaxed style of this game, even though some of the challenges were mega hard as well. And I really like the variety of vehicles. You have over 100 vehicles. You have, you know, low-end vehicles, you know, low-end road cars, and you go up to the supercars, and you go up to the fast bikes as well, you know, racing bikes and the racing cars, such as the, I think, Aston Martin DBR9, which is coming to iRacing, I guess, next year. You know, one of my favourite GT cars of all time as well, and it was great fun just driving it around in this game in the higher levels, and, you know, working your way up the leaderboard. And so, yeah, I just really enjoyed everything about this game. And as I said, the variety of vehicles, variety of weather as well. I don't think I've seen such a stretch of variety of weather apart from rally games ever, where you have 10 different varieties of weather. You can have like the nice sun, you can have light cloudy, heavy cloudy, and then you can have the light rain, you know, normal rain, heavy rain. You can have drying conditions as well. You can have hell as well. You rarely see that in the game. And even snow. I remember the snowy Nürburgring, which was like hell to do a couple of those challenges in the snow. And, you know, you had the predetermined weather in the career mode. So you knew what you're getting, you know, going into a race. And, you know, it really did had another aspect to this game, having this variety of weather, which, as I said, I don't think has ever been matched in any other game apart from rallying. And so, yeah, another thing to add to the Project Gotham Racing bow there. And also the soundtrack as well. There's about 50 odd tracks in this game, and I think that's been a staple of the Project Gotham Racing games, where they have these strong soundtracks, and I really did enjoy this one. Of course, you could turn it off, and occasionally I did, but most of the time I really did like the music and like the variety as well. It's not just, you know, rock music or pop music or indie music. It's a good variety as well with the music, good variety of the vehicles, good variety of the tracks as well. As I said, you've got Nürburgring and the Nordschleife. You've got the Macau. You can actually do the Macau GP circuit, I believe, where, of course, the Macau Grand Prix, the famous F3 race, happens at the end of the year along with the touring cars. And you've got classic, you know, street courses from the PGR previous games, and new added ones in this as well. 5 new venues. You've got like St. Petersburg, China, so Macau, and so Tokyo, London, San Francisco. A good variety across the globe, and, you know, good circuits as well. I never was really irritated by them apart from Macau, because you have that really tight, almost 360 degree hairpin, so that was really annoying. But apart from that, I really did enjoy, you know, the variety of circuits you got here. And why I think we're kind of missing a game like this nowadays is because we don't have a circuit racer like this nowadays, where, you know, good radar systems, and it has good variety as well. I guess, you know, most games have good variety, you know, Gran Turismo, Forza, but just a good arcade racer like this on the market, because we have games like F1, like MotoGP, like MXGP, like WRC, like Forza, like Gran Turismo, like Project Cars coming up, which are all playing to this kind of Simcade crowd. You know, Project Cars are a bit more towards the sim, but it looks like more towards the Simcade crowd, where they're playing to, especially as we see with Codemasters, they're playing to really 2 different demographics there. They're playing to this hardcore sim guys like us who want all these tactical aspects of the sport in the game, want everything kind of like it is in real life. But then they've got to play to the arcade crowd, where they necessarily don't want that. They just want to pick up the game and have fun. They don't want to practice and, you know, to be really good at the game. And you can see that from 2014 as well, with the like very easy mode that they had into the game as well, and the shortening of career modes. And so they're really playing to this, you know, arcade crowd. And then, as we see with Codemasters especially, it's just so difficult to please those 2 fractions, as you can see, that annoying hairpin. And so, you know, it's just very hard to please those 2 fractions and please the people in the middle as well, who don't mind a bit of both. You know, I think that's what I am. I don't really mind a bit of both in the Codemasters F1 games, because I understand the demographic they're having to play with and understand what they're trying to do with that game. At least I think I am understanding what they're trying to do with that game. And so, yeah, it's very difficult to do that. But we've seen loads of games in this kind of simcade genre, I would say. But we're not seeing much arcade racing games at least, and we're not seeing at least circuit arcade racing games. We're seeing them more open wheel now, with the Crew coming out, which looks fantastic, and you know, with Forza Horizon as well, yeah, and you know, they're very open world games. A Drive Club maybe, I'm not sure about that. But you also have the the Need for Speed World, I think it is, or that's coming on PC by Slightly Mad Studios, who are also doing Project Cars. And so yeah, you have these games that are arcade but actually just diverging towards open world now, instead of just sticking to a circuit race or a street course racer like we have here. You know, like we had with Midnight Club as well, going back a bit, like we had with Need for Speed Shift, which wasn't really held in much regard. But yeah, it just seems to be a bit of a dying breed, this is, having a not good arcade racer, at least for, you know, on the street course or road courses. But I don't know everything, so let me know if there is a good arcade racer, just like Project Gotham Racing out there, and is not open world. It is just like a circuit racer like this, having a bit more of a traditional career mode, as well as we have won the Asia Amateur Open, and we are into the top 70 now as we're trying to work our way up the career rankings. But yeah, that's Project Gotham Racing. I'm amazed I talked that much about a game I really do like, and a game that we are perhaps missing in today's market. And let's end it on talking about Bizarre Creations. As I said, they were around from 94 until 2011. They first around in 1988 as Raising Hell Software, did a couple of games for Sega, and then they changed their name in 1994. Worked with Sony on the first couple of Formula 1 games in 96 and 97. 97 still considered quite a holy grail as well, due to all the stuff they brought to the Formula 1 racing genre back then, such as accurately detailed in the circuits. Well, I'll say accurately by our standards, perhaps not, but modern standards. But back then, you know, it was a big deal having the official commentary from Murray Walker and then Martin Brundle, and you know, it just brought you into the atmosphere of F1 back then, and you know, very highly regarded those couple of games. Then Metropolis Street Racer, which they brought to the Sega Dreamcast in 2000, which is kind of the forefather to Project Gotham Racing. It has like the kudos system, it has the street racing, it has the variety of street racing well in San Francisco, London, and I believe that it was Tokyo is the other one. And so yeah, it brought some of the aspects in Metropolis Street Racing are definitely in Project Gotham Racing as well. And then they did Fur Fighters in 2000 and 2001, which was a animal FPS where you're animals and you just run around killing stuff, and it had cartoony violence, and they did two of those in 2000 and 2001. And then Project Gotham Racing came around in 2001, and then Project Gotham Racing 2 in 2003, then 2005, and 2007 for Project Gotham Racing 4. And it's just such a shame that Activision didn't carry on with this franchise. And then we have Treasure Planet in 2002, which was a game based on the film, the sci-fi adaptation of Treasure Island by Disney, of course based on Robert Louis Stevenson's book, in 2002. And then they had Geometry Wars as well, and that was very popular in 2007, and they released 4 versions of that until 2010. Then there's Boom Boom Rocket and the Club, some FPS games, and then Blur in 2010, and another fun arcade racing game, which again not much has been heard about, but it seemed to be a very good game. Saw on F1 Racing Mad's channel, or Tom Stanley's. And then they ended their run with James Bond 007 Bloodstone, which wasn't that well received. And as I said, Activision got them in 2007 for over $100 million. And then Project Gotham Racing 4 was the last game they did for Microsoft Game Studios. And then they were shut down in 2011 by Activision. And as I said, they didn't pick up the Project Gotham Racing franchise, which really bugs me, really annoying. I really do love the Project Gotham Racing, especially I didn't really play 1 or 2 because, as I said, I had a PS2, and I might play a demo or 3, but I can't remember that far back. Unfortunately, my memory's a bit rubbish. But let me know what you think of Project Gotham Racing 4. Let me know again if there's an arcade racer like this around, because I really would like to try it. And hope you enjoyed this. So out for watching, and I'll see you next time.